My name is Carrie Craddock. I'm the Director of Programming for the festival. We're so excited to have our guests here for a short Q&A this afternoon. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the Director of Whiplash, Damien Chazelle.
Kind of modestly talented cast members. Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons.
Damien, this has been quite a journey for you. This started as a short film, you premiered as a feature at Sundance and then Cannes, and now you're here in Toronto. Can you tell us about that journey?
I mean, it's kind of like the dream journey. I mean, it's really, it's a huge surprise, obviously. Of course, you always have these like pipe dreams. I mean, at the end of the day, I knew that I had no idea if anyone would actually connect to this story because it was so just kind of personal to me and things that I'd been through. But at least I knew that, I knew at least if I could put what I felt like as a jazz drummer kind of in that specific world on the screen. At least I didn't know if it would connect. At least I knew that it would be true to some kind of aspect of that. At least as I experienced it. I think every musician experiences it differently, but it's awesome to see it actually kind of connect. I mean, it's just it's the biggest dream of all.
I'm going to go to the Yankees cap.
And my question is for you, Damien. You said the film shot in 19 days. How did you possibly get enough coverage for all of it?
Oh, we used the C word. Don't use the C word. Coverage.
Not coverage, we plan it. It's true. It's
It's alright, it's okay. The question was, you only took 19 days to shoot. How did you possibly get that much music coverage in that short of time?
I mean, the main thing is Sharon, who's in the audience, who's I remember when all of us first kind of looked at the schedule, and it was kind of, that moment where it's sort of like, okay, I guess we're gonna try to do it. We actually had more time to do the short. I thought we were doing the short. The short, we had 3 days to do a scene, the kind of first big rehearsal scene, which we did in 2 days in the feature. And I kind of naively thought when doing the short that I was earning the right by doing the short, if it went well, to like get more time to do the feature. You're like, well, I can do the feature, but we'll squeeze in more. And but the thing is, actually, like what seemed like a burden at the time, actually, I think, created this kind of crazy energy that wound up on screen. And so, I mean, I just planned kind of everything to a T, and I always knew where the camera would be for every kind of note of music, or every sort of bar. We sort of did pre-viz and animatics and all that kind of nonsense, and Sharon and I really sort of poured over comps and images and just everything to kind of know how to do it. So we had a plan, but at the same time, even with the plan in hand, it was still a crazy schedule, and I think that kind of, I mean, you guys may speak to, I mean, we weren't sleeping, but in a way, you kind of want that for this movie, so.
Did you get in a car accident on the way home from set one day because you were so sleep deprived?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to the striped shirt. Yeah.
Can you talk about the casting of these two guys?
You're talking about the casting of these two wonderful actors.
Yeah, of course.
Like paraphrase. Well done.
She added the wonderful part in case anyone.
Well, it's true.
These guys, so Miles, I wrote the part largely, I wrote it largely with him in mind. Rabbit Hole had come out around when I was writing the first draft. Miles likes to joke with me about how much I love that movie and him in it. But there's something about him playing that kid in the movie, this vulnerable teenager that's normally so badly done in movies. It's normally the kind of role that sinks in a movie, and he just did it so subtly and in such a nuanced way. So I kind of knew from the get-go I wanted him. And when I was writing the character Fletcher, I had my own teacher in mind. I didn't actually have, any actor in mind. And the weird thing was I couldn't kind of think of an actor who would actually be able to embody that. And I remember J.C. Reitman actually once kind of suggesting his muse, who he calls his muse, J.K. And as soon as he said that, then it really excited me, because the whole, I knew I wanted to use someone who we hadn't seen this side of him at least in a while. And I remember J.K. and I talking about Oz and talking about early stuff. We did the short together, and then I quickly went through the short from thinking he'd be awesome in the part to thinking everyone else would suck in the part. And that made him, so thank you for sticking with us, J.K.
You shot right up away, blue shirt.
Thanks. Guys, wow. What I want to know is, how did the two of you prepare for these roles, and could you sleep at night?
The question was about your preparation for the roles, and did you sleep at night?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I was tired. And he worked a lot more than I did, so... Yeah, well, I know Miles drummed his ass off, is what Miles did to prepare for the part. He has a background as a drummer. He grew up playing drums, but it was rock. So he had to learn how to play the real drums. And how much, you put in the work.
I was doing, because I had drummed, I got a drum kit when I was like 15, so I had been drumming, recreationally in some bands for like 10 years, and then once, Damien came to me, and we realized that we were doing it, and we realized we had about 3 weeks, before the movie, I started taking jazz lessons. Damien started teaching me at first. I remember when you brought your drum kit, over my house, we set up in my basement, and, just started cracking away. But, I felt, it doesn't matter if you've played drums your whole life, if you've never played jazz, it feels completely, alien to you. You're holding the stick differently. The most fundamental part of it is completely different. And just moving around the kit, this motion I'm never doing in real life. I open doors with my right hand. This thing is weird. Brush your teeth with your left hand one day. Feel that toothbrush in the mouth. It's strange. So when we started picking up, and at first I was very nervous because Damien basically told me that I, in fact, would be playing all the solo, all the music. He needed me to be able to play that. And so we just started, banging away on it, and 3 weeks worth of some intensive lessons.
And I had to wave my arms.
All right, we got time for a couple more. Yes, towards the back on the floor. Yep.
Hi, I come from Miles Teller. How did you prepare for the more emotional scenes? Did you draw from your experiences, either instructors or people in your life?
So the question was about the emotional side of your preparation as opposed to the physical side, and did you draw on any experiences from your life?
Yeah, I think what's nice with a character like Andrew is, I've played other characters, they work a lot. I work a lot more from the outside in. It's more about kind of the reaction from people that they get. That's important, how they land with the other people in the room. But the great thing about Andrew is that he does not give a shit. All he cares about is playing the freaking drums. And that's actually a nice thing as an actor when you have one thing to focus on. It's the drums, that's it. And then for all this stuff with J.K., I know J.K. is really a phenomenal actor. He's, as an actor, you hope you get somebody that, does something different every time that is really, surprising you, so that it is a lot of, in the moment. I think as actors, you really, you get excited about that kind of stuff when you feel like you don't know what's going to happen, and you just go into the scene and, let it fly, and hopefully magic happens. And like I said, this guy is just a pretty intimidating dude when he wants to be. So you just try to be as present as possible.
That's the clue right there. Have an actor who can be present. It's a beautiful thing. Somebody who can listen and be present is not as common as you might think.
Okay, last question, your hand, I think in Todd in the back, shut up right away. Go ahead.
For the director, what led you to transition from being jazz drummer to a director? Not that you should stop.
I think it was a teacher he had, wasn't it?
That's the part about the...
I think you all got that question, but it was what led you to transitioning from being a jazz musician to a film director?
Everything in the movie.